Welcome to all of you. Myself Dr. Neha Desai from Department of Chemistry, RBNB College, Srirampur. Today I am going to deliver a second lecture on gas chromatography instrumentation. So in the earlier lecture just we have discussed about the brief outline of gas chromatography, and now we will study each point in instrumentation in detail. What we have seen in the instrumentation part, it may be a gas solid chromatography or a gas liquid chromatography. The instrumentation of gas chromatography consists of 6 components. So the first component is the sample injection port, second one is the column, then third one is the detector, fourth one is the recorder. So the first that we will study in detail is regarding the different types of column. As far as chromatography is concerned, the dimensions of the column plays very important role. In order to increase the efficiency of a column, you have to increase the length of a column. As well as you have to decrease the diameter of a column. So increase in the length of a column and decrease in the diameter of a column will enhance the efficiency of a column. As a result of this, you will get a well resolved and well separated chromatogram. So as far as the types of columns are concerned, the first type is packed column. Then second type is the adsorption column. Third type is the partition column. And fourth type is the capillary column. So all these are nothing but the different types of column which we are studying. So the first column, that is packed column. Packed column, these are made up of either a stainless steel or aluminium or copper. So the packed column, these are made up of either a stainless steel, aluminium or glass material. Now as the name indicates, packed column, the column is completely packed with the adsorbent. So what are the different types of adsorbent that we are using in the packed column? So these packed column, they are completely packed with different adsorbents. Now for this packed column, generally the in a micro packed column having the material which is used for the packing of column, it is having the particle size in the range of micro scale. Okay, so the packing material which is used, it is in the micro range for the packed column. Now the second type of column that we are going to study is the adsorption column. For the adsorption column, we are generally used the alumina or silica gel as the adsorbent. So in adsorption type of chromatography, mainly alumina, silica gel or activated carbon, these materials are used for adsorption column. Now for which type of analysis which material is used, we will see. The first adsorbent is silica gel. So here we will see the list between the adsorbents and these are the gases which are used. So the first adsorbent which is used is silica gel, then second is the alumina, and third one is the activated carbon. So for the adsorbent such as silica gel, which type of gases we are using? That is CO2, then CH4, C2H4. So analysis of these gases is carried out by using the silica gel. Then for the next is alumina, for the analysis of methane, that is CH4, or for the analysis of C2H2, or for the analysis of benzene, the adsorbents such as alumina are used. Now the next category is activated carbon. Activated carbon is used for the gases such as hydrogen, oxygen or nitrogen. So for this type of gaseous analysis, activated carbon is used as a absorbent. Along with that, activated carbon is also used for carbon monoxide, nitrogen oxide, etc. So adsorbent column, basically the adsorbent used, they are either a alumina gel or a silica gel, and these are the different types of gases and these are the different types of adsorbent that we are using in adsorption chromatography. Now this is about the second category, that is adsorption column. Now the third category is the partition column. Now partition column, they are basically used in GLC. GLC means gas liquid chromatography. In case of partition column, these columns, they are packed with inert support material. So partition column, they are packed with the inert support material. Basically the glass beads are used for the preparation of partition column. Now the last type of column that we are going to study is the capillary column. So as the name indicates, in case of capillary column, the length of a column is very long. That is, capillary column, they are very long as well as very thin type of column. So in case of capillary column, the length of a column is very high and the diameter is very short. So as far as the capillary columns are concerned, these capillary columns having a longer length as well as the small diameter, and capillary column, they will result in the good resolution. Why they result in good resolution? Because in order to increase the column efficiency, we have to increase the length of a column as well as we have to decrease the diameter of a column, and this fact is achieved by using capillary column. Now what are the substances which are used for the analysis of capillary column? That is, for the preparation we are using silica or stainless steel or aluminium. These substances, they are used for the preparation of capillary column. So as far as columns are concerned, the column of a gas chromatography is considered as the heart of chromatography. So the column plays most crucial role in chromatography analysis. As far as gas chromatography is concerned, there are 4 types of column. The first one is the pack column, second one is the adsorption column, third one is the partition column, and the fourth one is the capillary column. So this is all about the different types of column. Then the next point that we will discuss in detail is related to the sample injection unit. So the next part in the instrumentation of GC is sample injection unit. So for sample injection units, we have to consider the micro syringe. This micro syringe, it is provided with a needle, and then with the help of the micro syringe, the sample is injected inside the column. In sample injection unit, there are 4 to 5 different types of sample injection systems are there. The first one is the split injection method. Second one is the splitless injection method. Third one is the automatic sampling. Fourth one is the head-on sampling. So these are the different types of sample injection systems that we are using in GC. So split injection method, splitless injection method, automatic sampling. Then one more is the direct sampling method. This is also the 5th type of sampling. Split injection method or splitless injection method, it is most widely used for the capillary column. Whenever you are analyzing your sample by using the capillary column, then split injection method or splitless injection method is used. So we will begin with the split injection method. In case of split injection method, you will select the sample in the range of 0.1 to 1 microliter. So in split injection method, you will take a sample in the range of 0.1 to 1 microliter, and for this purpose the syringe which is used, it is made up of glass material. So by taking the sample in the range of 0.1 microliter to 1 microliter in range in a glass line micro syringe, your sample is injected inside the column in case of split injection method. Okay, so this is about the first point, that is split injection method. And the concentration which we are using for the split injection method, the concentration of a sample is in the range of 1 to 10% in split injection method. Now the second point, that is splitless injection method. The splitless injection method is the second type of sample injection unit. Splitless injection method. So this method, it is most widely used when you are dealing with the samples having low concentration. Samples having low concentration means the samples which are present in the ppm level. For such a very low concentration, we are using the splitless injection method. Now for the splitless injection method, a very dilute solution of the sample is used, and here the concentration of the sample is very low. It may be in the range of ppm, and then this sample is slowly injected inside the column for splitless injection method. Now the third category is direct on column method. Now, as the name indicates, direct on column method, here the sample is directly introduced inside the column. But what is the necessary condition? That is, the sample which we are taking, it should be in the range of 20 nanogram. Okay, so 20 nanogram of a pure liquid can be injected in one stroke by using direct on column method. Now the next type of method that we are going to study is the automatic sampling. As the name indicates, in the automatic sampling, in automatic sampling method, the manual efforts are not needed. The sample is introduced inside the column by automatic manner, and this method, it is having a high accuracy as well as high precision. In automatic sampling process, the measurement of the sample before injecting inside the column is done automatically, and after this the sample is introduced inside the column in an automatic manner. So automatic sampling, it is having a higher precision and accuracy, and therefore the results obtained by using the automatic sampling, they are far better as compared to the other types of sampling. Now the last type of sampling that we are using is the headspace sampling. This type of sampling we are using for the analysis of particularly the volatile compounds, or especially for the analysis of organic compounds. Hence, for headspace sampling, it is particularly used for the analysis of volatile organic compounds, and in this what is the most important step? Here you have to maintain the column at a fixed temperature. So the whole experiment should be carried out at a fixed temperature whenever you are dealing with the headspace sampling. So these are in all 5 types of the sampling we are using in gas chromatography. The sample injection system is considered as the most important unit of gas chromatography instrumentation. There are 5 types of sample injection system. First one is the split injection method, second one is the splitless injection method, third one is the headspace sampling, fourth one is the automatic sampling, and the fifth one is the direct column method. In gas chromatography, the sample requirement is very low quantity of a sample is required, but at the same time the sample which is necessary for the analysis, it should be in the highly pure form. If it is containing any kind of impurity, then it will lead to the formation of extra peaks or the peaks due to the impurity. Hence, for gas chromatography, the sample requirement is very low, but at the same time the sample should be in very pure form. Now, these are the different types of sample injection units that we have just discussed. Now the next part in the instrumentation of gas chromatography is the types of detectors. So detectors in gas chromatography, these detectors, they are considered as the brain of gas chromatography. There are different types of detectors in gas chromatography. The first type of detector, that is ECD or electron capture detector. Second is the TCD, that is thermal conductivity detector. Third one is the FID, that is flame ionization detector. In some cases, dual detector is also used. For some instrument, helium detector is also there. Then along with all these different types of detector, the most widely used detectors are these 3, that is ECD, TCD and FID. As far as the long form are concerned, ECD, it is known as electron capture detector. TCD, it is known as thermal conductivity detector. And FID, it is known as flame ionization detector. In these 3, the thermal conductivity detector, it is also known as universal detector because it is used for the analysis of all kinds of the compound. And as far as the sensitivity is concerned, electron capture detector, it is highly sensitive as compared to the thermal conductivity detector. ECD detector, it has a sensitivity in the range of 10⁻⁻13 gram. Thermal conductivity detector, it has a sensitivity in the range of 10⁻⁸ gram, while flame ionization detector, it has a sensitivity in the range of 10⁻11 gram. So this is about the sensitivity of the detector. What is actually the diagrammatic representation of all these 3 types of detector, and for analysis of which type of samples, which type of detector is used, we will discuss in our next lecture. Thank you.